Nick Spirer, is that you? Hello, Nick.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are things in Acadiana?
Well, things are going great now. The sun is shining, and we don't have any water in the streets, so that's a good thing.
No, we're thankful for the cold front on multiple perspectives.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I know that some people have questions. We've been seeing the promotion for RestoreLouisiana.gov, et cetera. Tell us about your part of the program, which is the Homeowner Assistance Program.
Yeah, look, Carol, 160,000 plus families impacted by both the March and August floods of 2016. It's been a long recovery process. Governor Edwards, working closely with our congressional delegation, was able to secure, to date about $1.3 billion for the Restore Louisiana Homeowner Assistance Program. Those funds first became available to our state just a few months ago. Since that time, we've been able to launch service centers, one in Lafayette, one in Baton Rouge, one in Hammond, one in Monroe. We're really focused on those homeowners that were impacted by both those floods. So a little over 86,000 homeowners actually had water coming to their houses with FEMA-verified losses.
Pretty astonishing, isn't it, to think of the scale of this? And you know what, Nick, what gets me is a lot of people don't remember about the flood in North Louisiana.
The March flood was no joke either. It was two, what the prognosticators call 1 in 1,000-year floods. We had two of them in 1 year. And our real struggle, Carol, is the great floods of 2016. We remember them. We'll never forget them.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they weren't named. And now as we watch Irma and Harvey and others, we're going to continue to make sure we're doing everything that we can to make sure the people of Louisiana aren't forgotten.
Well, we sure called them a lot of things. They may not have had names, but believe me, we called them by certain names. Tell me, Nick, exactly how the Restore Homeowner Assistance Program works. How do people apply for this? What's the scoop?
So look, here's the message. If you were a homeowner and you flooded in either of those March or August floods, if you haven't done it yet, do it right now. Go to restore.la.gov. That's restore.la.gov. Or call our call center at 1-866-735-2001. And Carol, the other option for those homeowners that would prefer not to get on the phone, would prefer not to get on a computer, we also have a housing assistance center located right there in Lafayette, south of the airport on South Park. So the exact address is 151 South Park, Suite 500. The phone number in Lafayette, where you can call directly and speak to one of our representatives, is 337-252-4082. But the first step is taking a survey. It'll take about 10 minutes to do the survey, and it provides us the basic information which would allow us to tell the homeowner whether or not we thought they're likely to qualify for assistance. We're also able to put homeowners in phases. To date, even though we had 86,000 homeowners impacted by the flood, about 45,000 have actually completed that survey. In Lafayette Parish, for example, Carol, we know there were 4,700 homes that were owned that were impacted by the floods. About 50% of the homeowners in Lafayette have actually completed the survey. So we're right at 2,300 homeowners have completed the survey. Once that step is taken, Carol, what we then do is we're going to work with our most vulnerable populations first, but we have enough money today in the bank to be able to serve all the homeowners that are going to qualify for the program. So we are going to, right now we have some 36,000 homeowners that qualify. We're going to get to everybody, and we're working as fast as we can. We know it's never fast enough, particularly for those homeowners that have been waiting for over a year, but we're moving in this program, from a federal perspective, we're moving at record paces as we go through this construction program. So we've got homeowners applying now. Over 11,000 homeowners are going through the formal eligibility application. We're doing damage assessments on houses. And our programs, it does two things for those homeowners, Carol, that are indeed eligible. The first thing it does is we're able to reimburse homeowners for the out-of-pocket expenses they've made to date as they work to repair their house, whether that's completed the repairs or partial repairs.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
It is. It's one of the first programs in the country to do it. It's a real innovation that we had working with our task force and the governor's office on it to be able to try to help meet that unmet need where folks are borrowing out of their savings and retirement accounts to try to get back into their homes. And then if there's still work to do, certainly the program is here for those homeowners as well, where we'll actually provide grants to complete construction. And homeowners have two options from that perspective. And that's really what we've tried to do as we design the program, which, look, these are federal funds, so it's more strenuous than homeowners would certainly like, but we're trying to move with speed, move with efficiency, and with accuracy, and with empathy for the homeowners. And so homeowners have two options. One is they can actually have the state contractors come into their house to complete construction, or if they prefer to use their own contractor, potentially make some upgrades, et cetera, then they'd have the opportunity to do that as well.
Okay, so that's if they've done the work already, they can get reimbursed. But on the other hand, if they haven't and they need more help, they can get grants and either use their own or state contractors. Now, the problem I can see there is with state contractors, will they get bottlenecked because there'll be so much demand?
Yeah, I mean, well, look, and it is one of the struggles, particularly for those homeowners out there that may have been fortunate enough to have some flood insurance and have maybe a little further along in the recovery process. We're really strapped for contractors, and the fact that Hurricane Harvey happened right there in our neighboring state is going to certainly strain that. We feel confident that we've got the workforce here in Louisiana to be able to work through the program. But again, it's going to take time, Carol, and that's we're working to make sure we're doing outreach to the contractor community and to homeowners to make sure everybody's aware of the program and how it's going to work, because it's a critical tool to provide some $1.3 billion to homeowners to help them recover,
and to make sure the money is spent properly, et cetera. And I would imagine that if there's any silver lining to this mess, it's that it will put some contractors back to work for sure.
It absolutely will, and it'll put homeowners back in the homes.
Back in the homes.
These programs, and they're really intended. It's not about rebuilding homes, although that's where it starts. It's really about rebuilding our communities and helping us really recover from those devastating floods. And Acadiana is a special place, and we certainly want to do everything we can through this program to help the area restore.
I think we have a caller. Al?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You're on the with Nick Spire.
I have a question for him in that I've got a couple of veterans who are being denied Restore Louisiana funds because they collect a disability check. That doesn't make any sense to me. Their home was damaged, and they're being asked for specifics on their disabilities. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why are veterans being held to a different task than the rest of the civilian community?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for Nick, but I would imagine they just want to confirm that the veteran is disabled. Although it shouldn't matter.
I have talked to has turned in a VA rating decision that says they're disabled, and they're being asked for doctor's letters. For more information.
Yeah. So, Nick, what would that have to do with anybody qualifying if they have the need?
So Al, and I would encourage you. I'll give you an email address, and let's reach out to our veterans and have them email me. It's an email address that I'll look at every one of them. It's info@restore-la.org, and let me make it real clear: we're certainly not going to deny eligibility to anyone, especially our veterans, based upon whether their income levels or whether or not they're disabled. What we do have is we're prioritizing the most vulnerable population, which does include low to moderate income and the elderly and the disabled. And so we are required from the feds to request documentation, as we want to serve those homeowners first to be able to have the required and necessary documentation. Okay. But it sounds like that's something that we can look into and certainly fix, but that will not be cause for ineligibility for sure. And even homeowners, that make good money, aren't low to moderate, that are not disabled, they're going to be eligible for the program as well. Mm-hmm. We're not going to discriminate on any of those factors.
So anybody who is damaged can make application. If your home was flooded, you can make application and it will be evaluated.
That's correct. I mean, okay. Carol, the only thing that we're at this point in time, because we're resource constrained, that we're continuing to try to work to secure additional dollars. Is not only were you flooded, but basically the description to be eligible for the program with the limited funds we have today, because we've only received about half of the appropriation from Congress that we requested, is that the damage in your home would have had to have been major or severe according to FEMA, which in layman's terms, is essentially a foot of water in your house.
Oh, well, believe me, there are lots who qualify for that, for sure.
That's what we're really working through, but certainly nothing to do with income or being disabled will make you ineligible. If you're able to show us that those things are indeed true, then what we're going to try to do is serve you first within the program.
Well, Nick, is that $1.3 billion just part of the total amount? Or is that the first kind of installment in the total amount, or is that the total amount?
So it's been 3 allocations, Carol, that total up to the $1.3 billion for the homeowner program. It's right at $1.7 billion for the entire Restore program. You'll have LaSanta on here in a little bit, and she'll be able to talk to us about what we're doing to support small businesses.
Yeah.
But we also have monies available out there for an agricultural program, for rental housing, et cetera. So the total appropriation has been 1.7, but we requested 3.7. And I know just as of yesterday, a bill that passed the House that includes supplemental money for Harvey includes the opportunity for Louisiana to get additional funds. So we're not stopping. We're not sleeping on our laurels. We know even with the funds we have today, we're not going to be able to meet the entire unmet need. There's other things that we're also fighting for, Carol, for those homeowners that are going through the process. This idea of duplication of benefits continues to come up, and it's a challenge. And for homeowners that did apply for and received an SBA loan to help do some of the repairs, that issue is causing some challenges with them as well. And we're continuing to work with congressional delegation, congressional leaders, and the federal agencies to try to relieve the pressure off the homeowners to try to make them as whole as we can.
All right. Now I have the is there a time limit on any of this, or are you just going to work through it as long as you need to?
We're going to work through it now, Carol. I mean, certainly at some point there will be a deadline that we put out there, but we know there's still homeowners that are eligible that would qualify today, and it's why you've seen us on radio and on TV. There's, while you've got some great loyal listeners, Carol, not everyone is tuned into the same mediums that...
Trust me, I know that. I mean, it's just, it's really hard to get the word out sometimes. People are, busy doing other things and they don't really pay attention, but there's help out there for anybody who needs it. And the veterans especially can do the info@restore.la.org.
Yeah, it's info@restore-la.org. And that's an email that we get. They can call our call center as well, 866-735-2001.
I have that number. And here in Lafayette, the number is 337-252-4082. And the office is on South Park, 151 South Park, Suite 500, correct?
That is correct.
Got it. Okay, Nick, thank you so much. We're going to take a break and come back with LaSanta. I think she'll be calling in at about 2:30. Thank you so much for giving us that update. And listen, anytime you all have some updated information you want to share with the audience, we're here for you.
Thank you so much, Carol.
All right. Thanks,
Good
Nick.
luck.
Take care. You too. Good luck. Wow. Big program. A lot of work to get done. A lot of folks being impacted by this weather. And, here it is a year later. We're still working through this. So, these things take time. So everybody be patient. You're going to get some help. We'll be right back on the Ross Report. Hope you will, too. We'll be talking to LaSanta Davenport, also with the Restore Louisiana Task Force. There are 2 different segments of this. Now, Nick, we spoke with, is about the Restore Homeowner Assistance Program. Sounds like they're really on top of this. I'll tell you what, sometimes that's not the case, but this time sounds like they're on top of it. It's a lot to manage. And if you're out of your home, I know it can get very frustrating and it takes a lot of time. And they want to make sure that the money is spent properly to the people who need it. Fight that waste, fraud, and abuse, right? So anyway, LaSanta should be calling in and we'll be talking. Now, her part is the small business program. Nick Spire that we just spoke to is the Restore Homeowner Assistance Program. This is the Restore Small Business Program. So the Louisiana Department of Economic Development and other federal, state, and local economic development partners have created the Restore Louisiana Small Business Program to provide assistance to small businesses in areas adversely affected by the 2016 severe storms and flooding events. So they'll be able to help eligible businesses and or nonprofits through participating nonprofit lenders, credit union, and or community development financial institutions who will implement and administer a lending program. Now, they're getting part of this 1.7 billion is probably about 300 million, I think, for the small business restoration program. And LaSanta, I believe, is calling in right now, LaSanta Davenport, with the Restore Louisiana Small Business Program. Hi, LaSanta. Welcome to the Ross Report.
Thank you. Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you. Now, we just had a great interview with Nick, and he was telling us about all the homeowner assistance that's out there through the Restore Louisiana program. But you're on the other side of it, the Restore Small Business Program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the Restore Louisiana Small Business Program, we have about $43 million available for small businesses that were impacted by the storms of last year. They're in the form of loans between $20,000 and $50,000. The loan is interest-free, and 20% of the loan can be forgiven when 80% of the principal is repaid.
Amazing. That's amazing. Interest-free and 20% forgiven when you pay off 80%.
Yes, ma'am.
Not a bad deal. How can people apply for this, and who's eligible, first of all?
Okay, it's for profit or private nonprofit organizations that were located in either one of the 51 parishes that were impacted. They must have been directly impacted by the storm, either with documented physical damage or financial loss.
Okay.
They should have at least $25,000 minimum pre-storm gross revenue and between 1 and 50 employees.
Very good. Now, 51 parishes, was it really that widespread?
It really was that widespread.
I know we forget about North Louisiana. How many parishes up there? Do you have that information?
That's a good question. I have my map with me right now to provide that answer for you.
Well,
but there were most of the parishes up there were affected.
Were affected, yeah. It's something that we didn't think about because it happened a month before ours happened, and no, not a month, about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I guess we sort of forgot about that in all the hassle we had down here. Now, how can people apply? Where do they go? You have a website, I know.
Yes.
And Facebook page, whatever. Let's get that information out.
We do have our information on the Restore website. That's restore.la.gov. And they would click on the Recovery Assistance tab. And all of the information for the small business program is located there, along with the list of lenders that are servicing these loans. So they would contact one of the lenders that's servicing their parish and provide an application to that lender.
All right, very good. Now, now I know the homeowner assistance, they have an office here in Lafayette. Can businesses also go to that same office? Or is there a different location? Or do you have a location? Is it just strictly online or by phone?
So those lenders do have locations or sites out in different parishes.
Oh, okay. All right, they can go to the lenders.
Yes.
Then. Okay,
yes.
Very good. Now, where can they can just go to the Restore Louisiana website. Is there a central phone number where they can get information about which lenders are participating, or is it all right there on the website?
It is all right there on the website,
okay.
And each lender's contact information is available on the website.
Okay, and so the highest a business could get is $50,000, right?
That is, we do have an exception policy where businesses could get up to $150,000. So the potential is $150,000.
What would be the criteria for that? Is it based on number of employees or gross revenue or what?
It's based on the business's ability to repay the loan. The lenders are looking at that, and also how much either damage or how much in eligible uses of funds that they actually have to receive that amount of a loan.
Okay, so basically it's up to the lender to determine whether a business qualifies for that additional funding.
That is correct, and if they have that particular amount in eligible uses of funds, which are they can use the funds for working capital or to repair or replace movable equipment and machinery.
Oh, okay, very good. So it's not restricted to one or the other.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Well, LaSanta, I tell you what, between you and Nick, I think we've gotten the information out there, and we're going to post it on our website also
Okay,
and our
you.
Facebook page. And so they can click right over to the Restore Louisiana and get all the details that they need.
Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate you all calling in and sharing that information. As I told Nick, if there are any changes or any maybe additional funds that come in or that sort of thing, just give us a call. Let us know. We'll share the information with our listeners.
Definitely. I appreciate you having me on today.
No problem. Thanks, LaSanta. Good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, we'll try to get all those numbers and the website and everything on our website, so you can just click on KPEL965.com or go to our Facebook page and get that information. This sounds like one program that may be operating with a little more speed, as Nick said, than most programs. So the total is $1.7 billion, and it's been in 3 installments that they're getting it. So we'll just repeat just quickly. For homeowner assistance, right? 1-866-735-2001. In Lafayette, the local number is 337-252-4082. The office is located at 151 South Park, and that's Suite 500. So there is an office in Lafayette. There's one in Baton Rouge, Hammond, and Monroe. All right? So there's assistance out there. Now, if you just go to the RestoreLouisiana.gov and click on the assistance little thing there, recovery assistance, it's right there in the top in the navigation bar all across the top, right? And you just click on that, and it's going to take you to wherever you need the information on the Restore Small Business. It'll tell you the lenders. There's $43 million available right now, and interest-free. Pretty darn good. So I guess the government is putting up the interest, and you get 20% forgiven when you pay back 80% of the loan. Not a bad deal. In fact, a very good deal. So if you've been impacted, you can do that. For businesses, you can do it on capital and repairs. So capital investment.